Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Forbes Factor, my absolute favorite hour of the week. We had a wonderful beginning of the show, and we're talking, I think we're just with strong, empowered women who are doing what they set out to do, which is definitely not enough of those role models when I was growing up. I'm certainly happy to be one, but to invite other ones up to this platform so we can explore and understand how they tick, what they had to overcome, and how you too can enjoy that very best part of your life. So I had the most wonderful opportunity to meet this one, Rhonda. She just popped out of my Long Island history. I feel like she's like a sister from another mother, and invited me to speak. We met over the holidays. One of the few women of lately who've met my son. Miss Rhonda, come on up to the stage here. I'm going to spotlight you for everybody. There you are. Hello, hello. Now, the only problem with Rhonda is she's missing a vowel in her last name. Did you know that? How did
I'm
that?
a unicorn, Forbes. I'm a unicorn.
How did that happen? You never see that
No,
with
no,
no vowels. So it's how do we pronounce it?
Klch.
See, there needs to be a UL. No, Coach.
If I don't put something in on my voice over IP phone system, it'll say you've reached Rhonda KLCH. And that's how I know when I get solicitors, because they'll actually say it back. Oh, did I reach Rhonda KLCH? Like,
Yeah,
oh,
isn't that
really?
funny? How did that name happen?
So my husband's family is from Czechoslovakia, and it was a name this long. And
Got
when
it.
they came over to Ellis Island, it was chopped down.
You know, that happens all the time. Forbes is not my given birth name, but we won't go into that today, but we always are open to that subject. All right, my girl. So how did you find me?
So, in the wonderful world of extraordinary women, I originally learned of you, and I say it that way, learned of you through our mutual friend, Derek Fay, who spoke very highly of you. And he asked if I knew who you were and recommended that I started to follow you. And
Oh,
then lo and behold, yeah, I know Derek's the best. Then what happened was, lo and behold, you were coming to Salt Lake City, Utah as I was exiting. So there's all this buzz. Forbes is coming to town. Forbes is coming to town. And I was like, I really need to meet this woman because I love your high energy. I'm high energy. So I
yes.
think that works for us. And then Michelle Masivic said, Rhonda, if you want me to connect you to Forbes, by all means, let me just connect you, the two of you. It was almost like she was afraid to make that relationship because look at us now.
I know. Well, Michelle is one of a kind. That woman has an energy and an attitude and a grace about her. I've known her since we were in network marketing together, and she
Yeah.
ended up in my house in Park City, and it was just spectacular to reconnect with her. I have a strange and powerful pull to Utah, which is just confusing me to no end. The people there are extraordinary, but I got to tell you, Salt Lake is a very far cry from Long Island.
It is.
The kind of people, the energy, and but it's delightful. And in fact, I'm going back right after my birthday on April 27th to be in front of 12,000 people because Keaton Hoskins has generously invited me to be part of Limitless. Talk about dreamers who just are so freaking out of the box that the box doesn't even exist.
Yeah.
All right, so we just talked, and I think you had a chance to hear Michelle. Fascinating woman. I don't understand how come I've never heard of her because I'm really passionate about women in the entertainment industry. And a woman who's directed that many films, who comes from the acting industry, who I followed a similar path with between New York and LA. It's like I was either supposed to meet her or something just went awry here. So I'm grateful for that opportunity.
Got a
And
great
now,
story. Yeah.
it's an interesting story, right?
Yeah.
And now I'm going back to Long Island with my daughter, which is very exciting, and my husband, who you're going to get to meet. And I feel like, literally not joking, I have a younger sister, but as everybody knows, I don't get to talk to her very much. So you're up.
It's fine. I'll step in.
All right. So give us some. Well, it's so funny. Tell everybody who you are and how you came to what you do.
Sure. So my name is Rhonda, serial entrepreneur, the managing partner of Equity First and the host of the Credit Authority. And my superpower is helping individuals and small businesses scale, grow, and really get down to the nitty of it and be a problem solver, right? So that's like the me, right? The me behind everything every day, just being a creative. And what I love is that you are coming back to Long Island to work with and meet with amazing entrepreneurs and the business owners and the heartbeat of what makes Long Island amazing. So I know that we have you flying in to Long Island MacArthur Airport, which I heard you talking about. And we're doing a back to business event right here on Long Island at the airport. And that's really where our studio is located. So my radio show is on LI News Radio, and it's called The Credit Authority. So I am one of several business hosts. But when we were putting together the back to business event, we had a meeting and they said, we're really looking for somebody dynamic that could be the face of this year's platform. And there's me. I'm like, oh, me, I got somebody. And, and that's really how it went down. And then more importantly, not only will you have the opportunity to meet with the Long Island community, but we're doing a private event the next day to highlight who you are and allow you to shine, and you do you.
If people want information on that, where do they go?
They could really just look me up. So any of my handles, everything is at Rhonda Klch, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and everything we do is at Rhonda Klch, and somebody can just message me if they're interested in learning more about attending the Back to Business event, or they want more information about how they can come and see you, and how they can learn more about being amazing.
So let's backtrack for a second. You and I are in high school, right? What kind of person are you back then?
Really? You want to go there? Sure. So
yeah, I really do. I was on your show. We can talk business all day long, but I don't want to do that. I want to talk high school. I'm just because I'm listening literally. Go ahead.
Sure. So true story. I emancipated at 16 and lived independently. I was a free spirit that just wanted to make money. I did not love going to school, although I excelled and landed up graduating with a business scholarship. I, from a very early age, was a creative, a forward thinker, and really being out of the box. So when everybody else was playing sports and doing their thing, I was focused on being an adult, really. And I hate to say it that way. I just was so driven. So I put myself through college and, built my first business at 18. I didn't do no well. I was like, oh, no, back it up. I know you didn't say no. Not now. Not now might be appropriate, but not no. So in high school, I had my small circle of friends. I met my ex, who's now my ex-husband, when I had just entered the 11th grade. He was older. So even we had open campus. Remember open campus? My kids don't have that. So I stacked my classes in the morning, and I was out by 9 and going to work. I was
we didn't have the South Shore. Where did you grow up? Which town?
Smithtown.
Yeah, Smithtown. No, Oceanside was not that. We were definitely more small town. We had a very regimented, kind of annoying, boring type school. Although I wasn't in school much because my dad had a horrific accident and spent 3 years in the hospital. Mm-hmm. So when I wasn't in class, I was at the hospital. That's where I had dinner every night for 3 years. So again, also very different. I wish I'd met you. I wish I'd gotten the how to make money bug. That didn't happen for many years until after college. I got good fast though. Do you think entrepreneurs are made or born?
I think it's a combination of both. I think you have to have the drive. You are born with the drive. You want to share your story. You want to be a creative, and you have to be a risk taker. So if you ever talk to other entrepreneurs that are excelling, it's always because they knew that they needed to take the risk. We don't play it safe.
Right. No, that's absolutely true. I'll tell you what, something I did that was really fun is I just watched the new J-Lo documentary on the making of her music video movie, which I didn't enjoy. I watched that first. I thought, I'm a little confused.
I was confused. I'm not going to lie.
You were? Okay.
I was like, I don't know what I'm watching, so I'll go back and do it later.
Well, I will tell you, go back and watch the documentary, and it's so enlightening. There's a moment about halfway through where she's sitting there with no makeup on, and she is so freaking sad. And Ben Affleck talks about what drives that woman to constantly do what she's doing. And it was so enlightening because it's a story that you and I relate to, is that it's just never quite enough. For me, and again, what was interesting about her story is that she wasn't tragically raped or traumatized. She was just not heard enough growing up. And it drove her to want to be heard with her talent. And I related to that like I've never related to anything before. I'm sitting there crying. I'm like, I just want to hug her. Oh my God, I get you. Mm-hmm. Because now it makes sense. And then when you look at that project, which she ended up financing herself, this is the thing you don't realize. She risked all of this money to make this crazy idea happen. And then she did end up selling it and got her money back, and got her artistic vision out there. I was like, that's us. That's so beautiful and classic. As a woman in business, do you think it's different than if you're a man in business?
I do, and one of the things that we talk about a lot, and you and I can have this conversation now or at another day too, is not only is it different being a woman in business, but it also is different when you're a beautiful woman. I am complimented, and I'm not looking for a compliment, but there's also that dynamic of being a strong, empowering woman that some people like to look at, right?
Well, okay. I remember watching, and you are absolutely beautiful, whether you're fishing or not. There was a moment when I opened Forbes Top 100 Women,
Mhm.
and it was very clear that the glamorous women, it was Beyonce, it was J-Lo, it was Sofia Vergara, they were all like overdone, beautiful entertainers.
Yeah.
And then it was chicks with really short hair and three-piece suits.
Yep.
And there was very little in between.
I'm the latter part.
Well, but I know, no, it's not true, because like with the hair, the beautiful smile, you are not the latter part. You don't look like a guy. And we don't, and by the way, just, looking like a man and acting like that is sometimes what you drive to, so that you can just get your ideas across and not have to deal with the fact that you are feminine.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting thing, because we definitely need to leave some clues for the next generation about how to be. I love to rock high heels and a short skirt. I have really had to figure out and mitigate when that's appropriate, when it's not appropriate, how sexy to be. And I will tell you what happens is I think you age out of sexy. 20s, 30s, and 40s are challenging. I'm watching my daughter, 21, who, when we talk about what she's going to wear, has said more than once, "Mom, stop sexualizing me." And I'm like, putting you in a dress is not sexualizing you. But she's starting to get it. She never got it before because she was a kid. And now she's like, people want to hit on me and do this, and I just want to get business done. And I'm like, girlfriend, you're going to deal with that your whole entire life.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't dress provocatively. If somebody goes through all of my feed or they meet me, but what I hear a lot is the confidence is sexy, because I have no problem walking into a boardroom or walking into a meeting and standing proud at 4'11", standing proud and standing tall, right? Because I know what I'm bringing to the table. And if what you don't know until you're in that environment. So where a lot of women won't speak up or they won't express themselves, I've gotten to the point in my career that I've placed myself in positions that I don't mind being challenged, because I have the strength and the knowledge to back it.
It's funny, I'm listening to you. I'm in the middle of a speaker training. I teach a variety of things. I teach how to pitch, I teach personal branding, and I focus also because I love public speaking. The timbre of your voice is very masculine. Did you create that, or have you always sounded that way?
I'm going to say it was created, and it comes from, again, I use the word confidence. When I first started speaking years ago, you'd come out and eyeballs would be on you, and there's this level of discomfort, because only if you're not performing 100%, right? Think about all the times you've been on stage and you walk off and you go, "Oh my God, I should never have said that," or "I didn't say this." Only what that was for you. I've learned to condition myself that if I'm going to speak, I need to be heard and I want to amplify. Now, you and I can talk on the phone, or I'll be on the phone with clients and I will be back to being my business self. But when I'm out there and I need to be heard, you want to speak with authority so that people listen to you and that they're tuned into what you're saying.
I completely agree. I happen to hear women who talk like this a lot, and they wonder how come that no one's listening to them. And I'm like, just bring it down a register and we'll hear you. Now, but I didn't realize you were 4'11", because my best friend is as well. And she is a kick-ass. Oh my God, she was Steve Wynn's right-hand girl, designing and doing all the promotions for the Wynn Hotel and other major hotels. Do you think your height has played any effect in you becoming who you are?
Absolutely, because I'm always known as that. I'm very affectionate, and I'm always the girl, especially like yourself. We work in very male-dominated industries. So I'm always the cute one. I'm the one that everybody wants to, come over and hi, hi, hi. So I've embraced that. where other people, even my staff, they go everywhere you go, everybody wants to hug you or squeeze you or pick you up. But that is who I am. I want to be, what's the word that I'm looking for? I want to be approachable. I think
Yeah.
that's the best way. And I think because of my size, it has allowed me to be more approachable. And because of that, you get to see the fun side too. So many times, even when we're delivering a message, even if it's serious, you want to be relatable and approachable. But at the end of the day, when I'm meeting with people, I also want them to walk away saying, I had a good feeling, right? Like
Yeah.
you bring something. And for me, I think my size has allowed me to, oh, sorry about that. My size has allowed me to be more approachable to so many.
I think that's fascinating. So my daughter stands 5'9" and in heels about 6 foot.
Mhm.
And her dad is 6'6". And I will tell you, that's how she's gotten her confidence. And we were shopping for shoes the other day. And she's like, I want the heels. And I'm like, really? She's like, yeah, when I walk into it's because she's also young. Like when I walk into a room, I want people to stand there and notice. And I'm like, you go, girl. Because I don't know many people who would have that kind of balls.
Mhm.
And she does. And I'm so proud that, by the way, standing now between, I was always tall at 5'7". Now between my husband and my son, who's like 6'5", and my daughter, who's like, I feel like I'm standing in a hole. Fascinating. It's like going, okay, I'll just look up at everybody.
Look,
Um,
I have 5 boys and obviously my husband, and they tower over they tower over me. I go out and if I find somebody else who's a small package like myself, they're instantly like there's this instant connection, because of that.
that is just so precious. All right,
Mhm.
talk about Equity First. How did your whole business savvy? Tell me about being the founder of that.
Oh wow. So you'll like this story. So, serial entrepreneur, visionary, as I mentioned earlier. I just love making money. So, I opened my first business at 18. And by the time I was 23, which was in 1996, I'm 51 years old now, I started flipping houses and I started buying property, which was really not heard of. Very, very male dominated. I had just finished up my bachelor's, and my attorney said, look, I think you're onto something. I really think you should go into the mortgage industry. And I was like, "Oh, I'm open for ideas." I'm 23 years old at this point. I'm 23, 24. I'm like, "Sure, let me speak with a mentor." So I was introduced to somebody who became my mentor, and I got involved in the mortgage industry. And, my challenge was at 4'11", 100 pounds soaking wet, 23 years old. People looked at me as if I had no life experience, therefore I was not relevant. And I was
Mm.
competing against so many other people. So I started working with the declines. So instead of me walking in saying, Forbes, I'd love your business, I would say to you, Forbes, I already know that you have a relationship with Mike or Tom or Bill. So anybody that they can't work with, I would love the opportunity to take a second look. And in
Wow.
my first year, I went around and developed my territory. And in my first year, I made more money than all the seasoned men in the industry. And I knew I was onto something. I was giving people that were told no an opportunity. I was a second look. And my business just grew from there because, again, I learned to deep dive and problem solve for individuals and business owners, giving them opportunity that they would not have normally had. And it just grew from there.
What's the biggest issue you think people have with financial literacy?
Lack of.
Okay. And I agree with you. What do we do?
I think it's just more awareness. I think the schools need to play a better part. I think that there are so many people right now because of the state of the economy where there's so much disconnect, even between the children and the parents, because they're working 2 or 3 jobs, that
Yeah.
there's no actual conversation about what a budget looks like and how to set expectations and how to properly manage money and how to understand the tangibility and also how to make sure that you don't get into financial challenges along the way, how to be responsible.
So for new entrepreneurs who didn't get the education like I didn't, what's some of your advice?
I think there's a lot of opportunity with following other educators online to find a product that feels good and stick with it. to be conservative and don't do anything until you have your 6 months of reserve in the bank, to ask a lot of questions. People are so eager to want to attach themselves to somebody that they idolize, but they don't take the time to stop and ask questions. I
Mm.
think that you need to stop and ask questions and make sure that it is relevant to what you are doing in the moment. And then to make sure that they're creating benchmarks and goals, 6 month goals, 1 year goals, 5 year goals, and go back and revisit and build a solid support team, which I refer to as my power team. I think every entrepreneur needs to build a solid power team so that they have checks and balances with a trusted advisor at all points in time.
I can't believe this. We have 2 minutes left to the end of my show. How did that happen? Look at the camera and tell people something that they need to know.
If you are struggling or you are a small business owner and you have questions about how to build credit or get out of debt, or you're looking to grow or scale your business, you have a friend. So find me on all of my handles at Rhonda Klch, and we'll connect and give you a free discovery call.
Oh, I love that. All right. You guys have all made a new friend as well. All right. One more time. What's happening on the 26th?
We have Forbes Riley coming to Long Island for Back to Business at the Long Island MacArthur Airport. And that is on March 26th, which is a Tuesday. And then if you are interested in becoming part of her private panel, that is happening the following day on Wednesday, message me and we can try to get you enrolled.
And always, you can always reach out to me. I cannot believe that the show is over. All right, for all my friends and fans, this was a wonderful Forbes Factor focusing on empowering women, being strong yet feminine, and amazing yet glorious. I will see you guys next week. Thank you so very much for your support. As always, we're on all the platforms from Voice America to Stitcher, Amazon Music, Pandora, iTunes. Find us, share us, love us, because we like that. All right, you guys, be well. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.